He came, he saw, he conquered. That is the credo of Rik Hermans. Rik was born on the 21st of December 1977. He is the eldest child of the well-known Jan Hermans and his wife Nelly. When he made his debut in Belgium in 2006, he was viewed with some suspicion due to him being the son of such an illustrious father. Many fanciers commented it is far easier competing in Holland, and most of the fanciers in Antwerp were not convinced of his ability either. Since his start in Pulle, Belgium, Rik has taken part in 4 racing seasons and the outcome has been very positive. Passed with great distinction is the least thing we can say about the tempestuous rise of this young Dutchman who will be a fierce competitor in the future in arguably the toughest races in the pigeon world. Becoming a vet. Rik says, "My dad has a pigeon engraved on his heart. In my childhood he raced his pigeons and was still working in the town hall. I never had any interest in pigeons at that time. For the whole of my childhood I wanted to become a vet. During the school holidays and any other free days, I jumped on my bike at 7 a.m. I didn't need a GPS system. The destination was always the same, namely the practice of Rob Hoekstra, who was and still is a family friend. I had to cycle 10 kilometers to get to Rob's place. My mother, especially, wasn't very pleased with that. It was a very busy road with very poor lighting and the bicycle path wasn't that good either. The cars would pass by at an incredible speed, but in the end it all went well. When I arrived at Rob's, it was like heaven. I was allowed to prepare dogs pre-operation, disinfect them, observe the operations, and every once in a while I was allowed to handle some pincers, pliers and tongs. I stayed over for lunch with Rob and Astrid. In the afternoon, I was allowed to go with Rob and visit the farmers. I was allowed to inject pigs and tag them. Sometimes, it was like a small war. The tags helped us to distinguish the pigs which were injected from the ones that still had to get their injection. On one of these afternoon visits, I also met Martin Kappen, who was one of the most famous scientists and vets in Europe, specializing in dogs. That's what I wanted to become, a vet. But fate decided otherwise. My talent for physics was poor. So I could not do anything about my ambition because it was a compulsory subject for the entrance into university. Luckily, economics suited me better. I didn't care too much about pigeons, but what I used to do was accompany my dad around so that I could get a day out. I also earned some money for it and I used that money very well. At a certain stage, I got interested in pigeons and I told my father I wanted to start racing them. I don't think he ever expected that, but he of course helped me straight away. He gave me 15 young pigeons from the second round of his and Rob's long-distance breeders. My loft was the attic on top of the barn. I had no experience with pigeons at all, so I had to start from scratch. But, with my dad being Jan Hermans, this was soon remedied. I was allowed to go for a week of work experience with Dirk Leekens and Joe's Phone. At that time, I was a very inexperienced pigeon fancier. In that week with Dirk and Joe's I saw how it really worked. Joe's taught me how to hold a pigeon, and while I was practicing I was allowed to put one drop in the eyes of all the young pigeons. Joe's and Dirk were very good teachers, but there was no fanaticism at all. We, in fact, spent more time on the squash court than in the lofts. I remember hitting a friend of Dirk's by accident on the squash court and he had to go to hospital. Back home it was time to turn my newly acquired theories into reality. I took it very steady. I got up in the morning and released my young pigeons for exercise, then went back in to read the paper or even went back to bed. Yet, I won 50% prizes, however my long-distance pigeons never returned early. I had one very tame pigeon, but I lost it in my very first race. The time after Orleans 1986. My ambition started to grow slowly. In 1997, I wanted to make fewer mistakes. The curtains were removed from the lofts. I wanted pitch-black lofts, so I boarded up the windows. Above the pigeons was cardboard with a small slit for ventilation. At that point in time, I was influenced by some American and Taiwanese racing techniques. Training, training and even more. Training was the philosophy of the time. My dad won the first National Orleans in 1986, including the car, but that was 10 years previously. Since that time the pigeon world had turned around 3 times. My pigeons were not allowed to see the drinking pot and they were road trained a lot. In the first race I won the 4th and the 6th prizes against 2,152 pigeons. In the second race it was bingo. I won the 1st and the 3rd prizes against 2,005 pigeons. I named my winning pigeon Meal. He originated from a direct daughter of the liched Orleans from Jules Verbeek of Nillen. That was a true wonder pigeon winning the first provincial Orleans, and a first national Bourges. With these results he matched his illustrious predecessor, the National 1-inch owned by Carol Schellens from Kessel. The 3rd spot was taken with a blue hen that had already won a 6th place in a previous race. 2 weeks later, this same hen won 2nd pair on against 1,358 pigeons. From then on, I named her my Phénomène. Later, Phénomène won another 2 first prizes and surprisingly she won the first National Ace Pigeon Youngsters WHZB and first National Ace Pigeon Youngsters de Vries des Duif. To complete the story, I have to mention that the Phénomène was bred by Dirk Leekens out of a direct phone hen, paired with the Engel from Harry Englund which happened to be a good racer, and was bought at the auction of Englund in Maastricht. My season had already been successful, but I went on to win various other championships. I became first champion young pigeons in CC Eindhoven with the 1st, 3rd, 5th, 6th and 7th ace pigeon out of 6,000 other competing young pigeons. We bred 8 young pigeons from the Phénomène as a yearling before she was transferred to China. 2 direct children from her were raced, the best one becoming first champion pigeon and won a first prize against 2,000 other competing pigeons. As we didn't have a suitable cock for Phénomène, my dad attended the sale of the total racing team of André Rudhoofd. The Der was one of the best pigeons in Antwerp, and we were very lucky, if it was luck at all, that he was a successful breeder in our lofts as well. The youngest daughter of the Der, and the Phénomène was the lot Phénomène van 98. She was too young to be coupled in 1999 but she was precocious. Meal watched her coupling with another hen in the loft and he paired the lot Phénomène with a cock from Ludo Klessens. It was an accidental pairing but their offspring raced really well. The year 1999 became a top year with the 2nd, 6th and 7th National Ace Pigeon Youngsters of the Netherlands. Klein Orleans, and Daddy's favorite, 2 nest mates from Klessens 03 paired with lot Phénomène became 2nd and 6th National Ace Pigeons. Let's just say that Meal planned it well. 7th National Ace Pigeon Blau Fleur was bred out of Broer Phoenix, Fleur Vervoort, paired with the nest sister of Secret. We got the Whitneyus and the Dunderstein, 2 direct sons of the Cannibal, and moreover 2 full brothers of the Golden Lady of Koopman from Dirk van Dyke, as Meal and Dirk are good friends. According to Dirk, Meal is the only fancier with 2 brothers from that coupling because the widow hen of the Cannibal died shortly afterwards. Rik continues, the base in Meal's breeding loft is solid, the Phoenix from Vervoort, the Cannibalen from Dirk, and the line Klessens 03 coupled with lot Phénomène, and last but not least, the Stamkoepel Jarling Dunderstein paired with Jansen Duiven, direct Jansen brother. What we must not forget is that Jarling Dunderstein scored twice in the middle distance races, once as a youngster in the Zev and once as a yearling in the Union. This happened in the lofts of Father Louis van den Branden. The search for good hens continues unabated. Rik continues, we are continuously on the lookout for better. We got 2 pigeons from Joos van der Beeken and they were 100% successful. We acquired several good pigeons from different fanciers. I cannot just name Kees Bourgeois and Gerard Koopman but also the Belgians are very good also with leading lights including Marina van de Velde, Wim de Troy, and of course, Eddie Janssens. 4 out of my 5 best young pigeons from 2009 are half Eddie Janssens. Maybe something else, I do realize that I am in a very lucky position. The breeders are in Meals and my father's loft, so I don't have to worry about them. A copy of the loft of Kees Bourgeois. I desperately wanted to race my pigeons in 2006. The racing season was approaching slowly but I still didn't have a loft, That was the situation at that time. Through Keys Bourges we met Jan and Leon Bravenboer, and they were building a new loft in Keys's garden. When they finished the loft in Dordrecht, they packed all their tools and came straight to Pulle. My loft was a copy of the loft that was built for Keys, only it was a little bit smaller. The aim was to finish the right wing of the loft before the young pigeons were mature enough, and we succeeded in that. The first round we bred in 2006 went entirely to Luxion. I kept the second round, and on the 2nd of July, these youngsters from my second round were my entries in my first race from Noyen. 2 weeks later, I took part again in the race from Noyen. It was a dream race. I was perfectly happy when I got the results. Competing against 1,152 pigeons, the following results were achieved. First was Rik Hermans with a 3-minute lead, 18 prizes from 28 pigeons. Second was Dirk van Dijk, and third Danny van Dijk. That was a result I could only dream of. The first year I aimed for 4 nationals, and the results were quite satisfying, with 54th, 110th, 157th national Bourges against 26,984 pigeons, 74th and 167th national Argentin against 14,534 competitors, 15 out of 22, 123rd national La Souterraine against 13,965 competitors, with Pepsi, the sister of the Propier, and 55th national Garret against 13,303 competitors, provincial 17 prizes out of 25 entries. I could only have prayed for such result. Thank you for watching. Until next time.